The number one regret among people on their deathbed is that they wish they had the courage to live a life true to themselves, not the life others expected of them. Now, I'm sure that you would agree with two things. Number one is that at the end of your life, you don't want to have a similar regret. And two is that nobody goes out of their way, nobody wants to live a life of regret. But in spite of that, it happens anyways, and not just few and far between, it happens a lot. And so it inspired me to make this video where we're answering the question, why do you postpone yourself? Why do you procrastinate on your goals and delay and wait and put off doing the work that you know you need to become the person that you've been called to be? And so I'm going to share two simple points with you that will prove that you actually already have everything you need to live a successful and fulfilling life. And it has far more to do with being aware of what you already have than it does finding something that you don't. So let's dive right in with point number one. Point number one has to do with awareness of who you are. I was at an event back in June where Dr. Myron Golden was speaking, and he said something simple but incredibly profound. He said, if you don't know who you are based on whose you are, you'll spend your whole life looking for something that you already have. And I don't know about you, but that quote hit home for me. And it's sort of like the feeling that you probably had. I've had it many times, unfortunately, where you ever like lose your wallet. You're like, where's my wallet? I'm like, honey, you seen my wallet? I don't know. Oh, it's in my pocket, right? And it's always in your pocket. Or even worse yet, have you ever done this one where you lose your phone? You're like, where's my phone? I leave it in the car. Is it plugged up somewhere? It's in your hand. And so I say that to say because it's that feeling, that pit of stress in your stomach where you feel like you're missing something so important in your life. And for the moment that you feel like it's lost, you don't have it, it's stressful. And so in the same way, we consistently feel that way, at least I did, where you're postponing yourself because you feel like something crucial is missing. Maybe it's a sense of purpose or belonging or fulfillment or direction, clarity on where you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do with your life. And so I think it comes down to two things that we're looking for. These are the things that we actually already have, which I'm going to prove to you in a moment here, but we seem to be looking for, and this is why we're postponing ourselves. The two things are, number one, ability, and number two, permission. What does that mean? Well, when I say ability, what I'm talking about is it's this feeling like we have to get all this criteria together. We have to get all of these qualifications in place and find the perfect opportunity, perfect season, right moment, and then we're going to be ready to go forward and achieve our goals and go forward and become more. And so we're waiting for ability. And what we can relate this feeling to is like, have you ever felt like you're a permanent resident in the city of Untilville? It's like, until I get a degree, I can't be successful. Until I become a millionaire, I won't be happy. Until I'm in a relationship, I'm lonely. And so you're waiting until you keep putting it off. And the second piece is permission. You're waiting for permission. And I did this, many times in years past, where it's like you're waiting for a thumbs up, a green light, a pat on the back from your parents or your teachers, waiting for your boss to give you some credit, recognition. And until you get that, you can't go forward. But let's get into point number two, where I prove to you that you actually already have ability and you have all the permission that you need. So in going into point number two, we got to acknowledge that always God is looking out for us. He really is. And we don't need any more proof than the fact that he gave us the ability and he gave us permission in the first chapter of the first book of the Bible. So Genesis chapter 1, let's go there. So the first piece we're going to tackle is ability. What's the proof that we have ability to become who we've been called to be? What's the proof that we have the ability to achieve our goals and achieve success? Well, when I learned this from Dr. Miles Monroe, and it's a success principle. So when I learned it, transformed my life. It was completely revolutionary. And so pay close attention. It's the principle of management. It's how God creates things. So in Genesis chapter 1, as we look through the story of creation, the thing that you'll notice is before God creates anything, before he creates something, he first creates the environment and the conditions that allow it to thrive. And so, for example, he created the water and the sea before he created the fish. He created the firmament and the sky before he created the birds. He created the land and the soil before he created the plants. And so following that logic, it would make sense that the simple fact that you were brought into this world would suggest that before you were even born, God laid out a pathway for you. He gave you the ability. He gave you all of the conditions that would allow you to fulfill your purpose, that would allow you to thrive. And so that's going to be a mix of good things and great talents and skills and passions that you might have. But along the way, it's going to be some roadblocks, some challenges that you have to overcome to strengthen your character and become more. And so that's the ability piece, that before you were even born, God laid out a pathway for you. He gave you the ability before you were even born. So that's the first piece. That's the first piece of proof. Second piece, still in Genesis chapter 1. Let's go to verse 28, very popular and important verse. Genesis 1:28 reads, "And God blessed them," ability, permission, all in one. "And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth." And so the key thing I want to highlight to you here is, again, God blessed them first, and then he gave them the instruction. So before he gives you an instruction, he first gives you the capability. That's the first piece to understand. And the second piece is that as he's talking through this verse, he's speaking not to Adam. It's not just talking to Eve, like he just gave this instruction to one person or two people. He's speaking to mankind. He's speaking to our soul as we were created in his image. And so I truly believe this, that in all of us, we have that yearning desire to be fruitful, to become more, to produce on the outside and bring forth to the world what God uniquely placed on the inside of us. And so that's the second piece, that you have permission. He gave you ability and the capability, and he gave you permission to go forward and be fruitful. So that's really all the proof we need. We don't need permission from other people to give us a pat on the back and give us the go-ahead. You already got that from God. And when I say ability, what I'm saying is that you have the ability to take the next right step. You might not have all the sales skills and leadership skills, communication skills, technical skills that you might need, but you're going to eventually develop those. The question is, can you take the next right step? Do you already know, what you likely do, whether it's your health, your finances, or relationships, the next step that you should be doing that you're not? And so if you don't hear and you don't remember anything that I shared with you in this video, please remember this. The gap between where you are and where you want to be lies in the gap between who you are and who you need to be. And when you make the decision, when the day comes, the moment comes that you finally commit to a path of excellence and becoming more and leaning on God and trusting that he gave you everything you need to become who you've been called to be, that's the day that'll change your life. That's the day when you're really going to start to improve. And long gone will be the days of postponing yourself and procrastinating and delaying and minimizing your potential, holding yourself back. So as we wrap up, just rest assured that you have the ability. You have permission, all the permission that you could ever need. So go forward confidently and become who you've been called to be. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot of value from it. Hope it blessed you. And these concepts blessed you as much as they have for me. And so if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button and comment below, out of all the points that we shared today, all the concepts and ideas, what is the one point that clicked with you the most? What's the point that hit home for you the most? We'd love to hear from you down in the comments and chat with you there. But until next time, stay blessed by the best. Take care.